how to have a good immune system.
點樣先能夠有一個好嘅免疫系統呢？
The immune system is the system composed by many cells to fight infections.
事實上，免疫系統就係一個系統咧，裏邊係有好多嘅細胞要嚟對抗外來嘅敵人嘅。
Mostly the white blood cells have a work to clean or to fight bacteria, to fight a virus or any microbial.
而呢個白血球佢嘅功用就係負責對抗呢啲細菌、病毒同埋一啲微生物嘅。
So today we are going to talk about the avian flu prevention and other methods to prevent infections and how to improve your immune system.
今日我哋嘅講題會有3部分，其中就會講到禽流感啦，點樣去預防一啲傳染病，同埋點樣去改善你嘅免疫系統。
The first part is about information about the bird or the avian flu.
首先要睇睇禽流感。
As you see in this picture, there is a concern around the world related to the bird flu issues.
對於禽流感，其實整個地球都好關注。
So they are concerned that a virus can be transmitted in a simple cold, and then people can transmit this in an epidemic proportion.
佢哋擔心呢啲係會經由禽畜傳染去到人類，而人類咧亦都會係互相傳染。
As you see in the picture, this is not a concern just in Asia, but somehow Asia is the birthplace of this type of infection.
事實上咧，呢一個全球咧對於呢件事都好關注，不過最主要佢就係喺亞洲咧開始被發現啫。
And so there are so many precautions, and people are using masks in several countries in Asia.
喺亞洲好多個國家，佢哋都用呢個口罩去預防。
Specifically in our hospital in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Adventist Hospital, they have some preparations that to select the patients in the case of an epidemic of bird flu.
而喺香港港安醫院喺呢一個疫症嘅高峰期咧，曾經咧都係嘗試喺個眾多嘅病人裏面試下揾唔揾到有啲病人咧係患上呢個禽流感。
So they have to select or to set a series of tents outside in order to examine the patients when they have a suspicion of bird flu.
嗱，所以咧就喺醫院嘅外面咧，就建立咗好多唔同嘅帳幕喺外面。當係有一啲懷疑禽流感嘅病人咧，佢哋就會喺嗰度要做一啲嘅檢查啦。
And the hospital has to make a drill on that. It's not a real situation, but in case of an emergency, they know what to do.
而醫院方面咧，各同工就會做一啲嘅演習，就係幻想當我哋真係有呢啲病人嚟到嘅時候，我哋點樣去照顧佢。
Because in the case of an infection, they will select a patient and examine if this patient has bird flu, and then this patient will not be admitted to the hospital to contaminate other patients.
嗱，因為有懷疑嘅病人，佢哋會喺呢一度先做咗一啲檢查。如果當佢哋證實真係患上呢個禽流感嘅話，佢就唔會入去我哋嘅醫院係感染其他病人啦。
Now, the threat of bird flu is a world very concerned thing.
而呢個禽流感嘅威脅係全球好關注嘅一個問題。
So what is a pandemic or epidemic?
我哋就話流行病係乜嘢嚟嘅咧？
So they have to have a higher contagious or high virulent organism.
嗱，呢一種嘅生物咧，一定係嗰個傳染性或者致命性係好強嘅。
And then people will not have immunity against this organism.
而喺呢個普遍嘅市民咧，佢哋係對於呢一種病係冇呢個免疫力。
And this organism will have a very virulent way to transmit between human to human.
而亦都好容易由人咧係傳去人。
So it looks like we have those two items in the bird flu that we know already, but the last one is not yet known.
嗱，我哋對於開頭嗰兩點咧，就已經係好清楚證明啦。但係咧，至於第3點咧，仲係未知之數嚟嘅。
So the bird flu that we have now it spreads rapidly among birds, and these birds don't feel anything. But when they get in contact with the chickens or the birds that are in the chicken houses or duck house, then those are the ones that get sick.
而呢啲嘅野鳥咧，係將呢一種嘅病毒急速咁樣係傳播開去。咁通常嚟講咧，呢個野鳥係冇乜問題嘅喎。但係當呢啲野鳥傳染到去我哋嘅家禽嗰度咧，就會引致到咧係發病啦。
So many people, when they get a chicken or their animals contaminated, they try to hide this infection in their animals, but there is no point on that because once the virus was affecting a bird or a chicken, this chicken will die.
有好多時候咧，嗰啲飼養嘅人咧，想將呢啲有病嘅病鳥啊、禽畜咧係收起嚟，但係咧，其實佢哋要知道，當佢一旦係受到感染，好快脆佢哋都會死亡嘅。
Also, this virus that produce the bird flu can jump from species to species, like from chicken to pigs and so on.
而呢一種咁嘅病毒咧，佢亦都會係咧經由一種動物傳染去另一種嘅動物嗰度，例如係譬如由呢個禽鳥去到豬啦。
And this ability to jump from species to species can threaten the virus to pass to human beings.
所以我哋亦都擔心就係話，如果咁樣佢能夠經由動物傳染去另一類嘅動物，會唔會咧有一日會傳染到去人類咧？
Summarizing what we said, there is a contamination between wild birds and raising chickens or ducks.
嗱，呢一度咧就係講到由野鳥傳到去咧喺自己飼養嘅禽畜裏邊。
And from now, what we know is that the chickens can't contaminate human beings that enter in contact with contaminated chickens.
嗱，我哋暫時知道咧，如果呢一啲嘅人類係同呢種受咗感染嘅家禽去接觸咧，就可以傳俾人。
But still, we cannot have, or we don't have a virus that contaminate people to people.
但係幸好到現時為止，仲未將呢隻病毒咧係經由人傳人。
The virus that we call responsible for this epidemic is the H5N1.
嗱，我哋成日都聽到嘅呢隻 H5N1 嘅病毒就係呢一隻病毒啦。
H stands for hemagglutinin.
嗱 ，H 嘅意思咧就係呢個血凝素。
And N stands for neuraminidase.
而 N 咧就係一種神經氨酸。
Those are proteins that are in the external portion of the virus.
咁而呢啲咧都係咧佢存留喺呢一個病毒嘅外面嘅一種嘅蛋白質。
So these proteins in the capsule of the virus will identify the virus according to the position in the molecule of the virus.
就係佢哋嘅唔同嘅分子嘅排列，你就可以知道咧佢係邊一種嘅病毒啦。
How to know if a person has a cold or a flu?
我哋點知道嗰人係患咗傷風啊，抑或係流行感冒咧？
The symptoms, mostly respiratory symptoms, are almost the same.
因為嗰啲呼吸系統嘅症狀咧，幾乎係一樣。
Like runny nose and cough and sneezing.
又或者係流鼻水啦、打乞嗤啦，同埋咧係會咳咁樣。
The only difference is that if it is a flu, you see in the right column of this slide that it causes acute respiratory distress.
嗱，你喺右邊嗰度咧，你可以睇到原來咧一個嘅流行感冒嘅症狀咧，佢係可以會引致一啲急性嘅呼吸困難嘅。
So you see here that the virus C for common cold is a very simple virus, will not cause too much distress. But the virus A and B, that are the ones that H5N1 is classified into, are very harmful or produce very big respiratory distress.
嗱，所以你睇到咧，普通嘅傷風係由呢個病毒 C 引起，佢個症狀咧唔係太嚴重；而由病毒 B 同埋 A 所引致嘅呢一種嘅流行感冒咧，亦都係我哋講禽流感嘅其中一種咧，佢就會可以引致咧急性嘅呼吸道困難。
The specific treatment for the H5N1 virus is done by Tamiflu.
而咧佢哋通常就係用特敏福啦，去針對性咁樣去落藥咧，係對付呢一隻嘅禽流感。
This is what they are treating now, even though they don't know when the virus become passing from man to man or to human, if this drug will be effective.
咁縱使依家咧都未去人傳人，但係咧佢哋都用緊呢一隻特敏福咧，係去醫治呢啲懷疑有禽流感嘅病人。
In this picture, you see the mechanism of Tamiflu.
嗱呢度咧就係講緊佢特敏福咧，佢嗰個功用係點嘅咧？
Tamiflu blocks the production of the protein neuraminidase.
因為咧佢咧就係將嗰個嘅病毒裡面其中一種嘅蛋白質呢個 N 咧，呢一個咧係防止佢生產出嚟嘅。
So if a virus have this protein not working, it can enter in the cells.
嗱，當佢呢一個 N 咧係唔再有作用嘅時候咧，呢種藥咧就可以入到去佢嘅細胞入邊。
As you see in the picture, in the upper part of the picture, the virus are entering the cells without any problem.
嗱，所以你見到咧呢個病毒咧係入到去細胞裏面咧，完全冇問題嘅。
But once inside of the cell, if they don't have neuraminidase, they cannot break the cell membrane, and so they cannot leave the cell.
嗱，但係當佢哋入咗去細胞之後，佢哋冇咗嗰隻 N 啊，佢就唔可以再將呢個細胞佢個膜打開，即係話咧佢就唔可以再出翻嚟啦。
Then the virus cannot multiply and then it cannot affect other cells, and it will die, and the disease will be contained.
咁即係話佢唔會再有生產嘅能力，最終咧佢就係死喺個細胞裏邊。
Can we vaccinate human beings?
我哋人類可唔可以打防疫針咧？
You know that there is some vaccines for the flu, but there is nothing for the H5N1 virus yet.
嗱，流感就有防疫針，但係咧對於禽流感咧仲未有防疫針㗎。
At least the vaccines that we have, we don't know if they will work in the case of an epidemic.
嗱，當然啦，就算我哋打咗啲防疫針，我哋都唔知道係咪流行病嚟嘅時候真係有呢個作用可以預防喎。
But it's important for people to get vaccination, mostly if they work in an environment that is high risk of infection.
嗱，如果當一個人喺一個好高危嘅地方，佢哋好容易受到感染嘅地方做嘢嘅話咧，佢哋當然最好咧就係打呢個防疫針啦。
Another point in vaccination is that there is a chance that there is a cross protection.
而呢個打流感針咧，亦都係可以防止咧係相互嘅感染。
That means you are vaccinated against a normal flu virus, and this protection will develop an immunity against the H5N1.
嗱，當你咧係對某一種嘅病係有一種保護作用嘅話咧，佢哋相信咧就係有可能係對於呢個禽流感亦都有同樣嘅作用。
Immunization against the H5N1 is not effective yet.
其實對於呢個禽流感嘅預防咧，係仲未有一啲有效嘅疫苗。
And also, as the virus that will be very contagious in the future, this virus does not exist, so it's impossible to make a vaccine for something that is not there yet.
因為佢仲未好普遍咁樣咧，係被傳染廣泛咁樣擴散出去，所以暫時咧仲未可以將佢咧係做成呢個流感針。
But to be vaccinated against a flu, a virus that transmits the flu, is good for people that work in a hospital or people that have immune suppressed problem.
嗱，如果你個免疫系統係受到抑制，或者你喺一啲高危嘅地方做嘢咧，最好都係接受呢個流感針注射啦。
So if a person is vaccinated against a normal flu, it's easier for the doctor to diagnose when they have an H5N1 infection.
嗱，如果你已經打咗流感針，當你真係患上禽流感嘅時候咧，醫生就會容易診斷出嚟。
And some specialists are saying that is probably possible to have a cross protection. You are vaccinated against other virus, and this protects you against the H5N1.
嗱，咁有啲科學家咧，佢就話咧，有可能啊，就係有個嘅產生一種互相保護嘅作用，即係話你打咗呢個流感針保護你，亦都有可能咧保護埋你咧，係避免預防 你患上呢個禽流感嘅。
Now let's talk about the prevention measures that we have to do in order to avoid contagions.
嗱，咁究竟我哋有啲咩預防嘅措施可以做呢？
So what you have to do is related to cleanse the environment and to clean your hands and to avoid the virus that is in the surface.
嗱，咁重要咧就係話，首先我哋保護環境嘅清潔啦，我哋嘅手部嘅清潔啦，同埋咧喺我哋嘅皮膚裏邊咧嗰個清潔嘅。
Some research says that 90 to 95% of respiratory virus infections is transmitted by contaminated hands.
因為咧90至到95% 嘅病毒性嘅呼吸道感染咧，就係經由受污染嘅手觸摸口而引致嘅。
So you should avoid to touch your nose, your mouth, and your eyes.
咁所以咧記得啦，避免咧觸摸口鼻同埋眼呢啲地方。
Clean hands save lives.
一個乾淨嘅手能夠係保護你嘅生命。
So develop the habit of wash your hands every time, several times per day.
記住啊，每日咧培養呢個洗手嘅習慣。
Especially after you go to the bathroom.
尤其是當你去完洗手間之後。
And especially when you go to a place and you touch several public doors or public handlers.
特別係你去到啲公共嘅地方，掂過啲門啊、手柄啊等等。
And is advisable to clean your hands with alcohol too.
嗱，你亦都可以咧係用一啲酒精去清潔嘅手部。
And have a special care when you meet a person that is with a cold or a flu.
嗱，當你見到有人咧係患上呢個流行感冒嘅時候咧
，a person is sneezing can transmit also all the virus through the sneeze about 1 yard from the person.
嗱，當一個人患上流感而佢打嘅乞嗤咧，可能呢度咧佢可以咧傳播去一碼咁遠嘅喎。
So people should use tissues and should use a mask.
咁所以呢啲病人咧就需要戴上口罩或者用呢個嘅紙巾去覆蓋住佢嘅鼻同埋口啦。
Some virus can be transmitted by the toilet.
而有啲嘅病毒咧係可以經由呢個廁所嗰度傳播出去。
So it's important to cover the toilet and clean everything and clean your hands after you use the toilet.
所以咧，當你咧用後咧，記得沖廁，蓋上個蓋嚟沖廁，同埋咧清潔好洗手啦。
And use the right type of mask.
又咧用正確嘅口罩。
But in this picture, you have to use the right type of mask in the right place.
當然，除咗咧正確嘅口罩之外，都要戴喺正確嘅位置。
And these people is using the wrong type of mask in the right place.
嗱，呢一個咧就係用一啲唔啱嘅口罩而戴喺一個正確嘅地方。
And these people are using the wrong type of mask in the wrong place at all.
嗱，呢個咧直情係用錯咗面罩添啦。
Some people, I wonder why they are using masks.
有啲人我就懷疑佢點解佢仲要戴口罩咧？
You are filtering the virus, but you are not filtering worse substance as smoking is.
嗱，你可以咧將啲病毒過濾咗，但係你唔可以咧將呢啲有毒嘅物質係香煙裏邊嘅有毒物質咧係過濾到嘅。
Another important thing is to use a mask and use some precautions to avoid infections.
另外咧就係要咧做一啲防禦嘅措施，例如係口罩啦等等。
So when you use a mask, the masks comes with two sides, the light side and the darker side.
咁通常咧個口罩咧就有一邊比較深色，一邊比較淺色啲嘅。
So in that case, this dark blue should be outside, and then the lighter color should be inside.
咁通常對外嘅咧就係深色嘅部分，對內咧就比較淺色啲嘅。
Also, when you use a mask, I mean, try to not touch the inside after you use.
嗱，記住咧，當你用完之後，千祈唔好掂嗰個面罩嘅裏邊喎。
Who should use the mask?
咁邊個應該係戴呢個口罩咧？
So if you go to an environment that people are sick, like in a hospital,
或者你去到一啲醫院啦，咁要接觸病人啦。
So now we are trying another type of mask.
我哋又試下另一種嘅口罩先。
Or if you are sick, then you should use the mask.
或者當你係病嘅時候，你都需要戴口罩啦。
And then other things that you should do is use some alcohol swabs to clean your hands.
你亦都可以嘗試下咧，用一啲火酒嘅棉去清潔下你嘅手部。
Mostly when you press the buttons or you are in a place that you are touching. Remember, when you touch things, you put in your hands and you put in your face, you are transmitting the virus.
特別係用嚟撳掣啊，或者你嘅手咧觸摸咗其他嘅地方。如果當你咧再觸摸口鼻嘅時候，就會令到咧呢個細菌係傳播開去啦。
Or you use alcohol spray.
或者你可以用一啲酒精嘅噴霧。
And then you clean the environment, you clean your hands, and you are going to be good against the infections.
要嚟洗手啦，或者係清潔咧周圍嘅環境，就係預防感染嘅。
Another point is to have good ventilation.
另外咧就要保持空氣流通啦。
Outdoor air is very important to enter in your environment.
喺外邊啊，即係戶外嘅空氣，我哋容讓戶外嘅空氣流入去屋裏邊。
In your house, in your office, and mostly when you are sick.
要俾佢咧喺無論喺辦公室啦，或者屋企都有新鮮嘅空氣，特別係你唔舒服嘅時候添。
People will recover better if they have fresh air renewed from in their bedrooms frequently.
嗱，如果佢能夠有新鮮嘅空氣去到佢房間嘅話咧，佢康復嘅時間都係會短咗㗎。
The immune system consists of a series of cells.
免疫系統包括一系列嘅唔同嘅細胞。
These cells are produced by the lymphatic vessels, the thymus, or the spleen.
而佢哋咧係由呢一個淋巴腺啦、胸腺同埋脾臟咧係生產出嚟。
The leukocytes are the main cells of the immune system, also called white blood cells.
而呢一個嘅淋巴球咧，我哋都係稱為白血球，就係呢一個免疫系統最主要嘅一啲細胞啦。
And then you have the macrophages, the mast cells, and special chemicals produced by those cells.
其次咧就係巨細細胞、幹細胞同埋一啲特別嘅化學物質。
You see in this picture a natural killer cell on the left side trying to attack a cancer cell and inoculate in this cancer cell some poisons to kill it.
嗱，呢一個自然殺手細胞咧，其實佢就係會將一啲受到呢個癌細胞感染嘅一啲嘅細胞咧，係殺死嘅喎。
Here we have a picture of the lymphocytes, or a type of white blood cells called cell T.
嗱，呢個咧就係其中一種嘅T 淋巴細胞啦。
Now we have another picture of a lymphocyte trying to kill a cancer cell.
你可以見到呢一個 T 淋巴細胞咧，佢嘗試咧係將呢一個癌細胞係殺死。
The small cells that you see that look like cotton balls are trying to invade that big cell that look like a sun, and they are trying to kill that.
咁你見到好似棉花球嗰啲咁嘅細胞咧，其實佢嘗試咧就將一個好似太陽咁嘅癌細胞係殺死。
Now, one of the main factors in the immune system is laughter.
嗱，對於呢個免疫系統嚟講咧，其實呢個歡笑係好重要嘅喎。
In Loma Linda University, Dr. Burke made an experiment with two groups of students.
喺羅馬林達大學一位教授，佢用咗兩組嘅學生做一個研究。
One group was watching funny movies.
有一啲咧係睇緊呢啲笑片。
The other group was watching kind of boring movies.
另外一啲咧就係睇啲好悶嘅。
Then during this time, they put an IV line, taking their bloods frequently and measuring some of those cells that we just mentioned before.
嗱，而喺佢睇嘅過程裏面咧，其實佢就會有一條嘅血管咧，係能夠咧隨時都抽到佢啲血咧出嚟驗，就睇一睇咧佢喺身體裏面啊各種唔同嘅白血球嘅情況係點樣。
So, what are the results that they found?
佢結果發現乜嘢咧？
They found that several cells the lymphocytes T, are increased and activated during the humor.
嗱，當佢哋咧感到好開心、幽默嘅時候咧，佢發現咧原來呢個 T 淋巴細胞咧會活躍起嚟。
And this was what happened to those students that were watching those funny movies.
就係嗰班睇笑片嗰班人咧，佢就見到就係呢個 T 淋巴細胞咧活躍啦。
So it's important to have a good laughter, to have a kind of a good and positive disposition of the mind.
嗱，所以我哋需要保持呢個開心同埋歡笑。
So what else they found?
佢哋仲發現啲乜嘢咧？
Interferon is what we call a cytokine, one of the substances produced by the white blood cells.
嗱，原來咧白血球會產生一種嘅物質，佢叫做干擾素。
And then interferon was increased during humor and was increased after 24 hours after they have the session, the humorous session.
佢發現呢一種咁嘅干擾素，佢嘅數目會增加，當佢咧係喺幽默嘅情況底下，而且咧佢可以維持到24小時添。
So as you see in the slide, the interferon increased the defense against parasites, virus, and tumor cells.
所以佢哋發現佢能夠對抗咧寄生蟲啦、病毒同埋呢個癌細胞。
They use interferon to treat some rats that have cancer, and there was tumor regression on those rats.
咁佢就將一啲已經患咗癌嘅一啲嘅老鼠做研究喎，就係將呢啲干擾素咧打喺佢哋身體裏邊，發現咧個癌嘅腫瘤咧越嚟越細。
If it is good for the rats and it is good for the animals, it might be good for us.
嗱，如果對於老鼠好，又對於咧呢啲嘅動物好嘅話，或者對於我哋人類同樣都係咁好嘅。
When you are under stress, you increase the release of cortisol.
當你有壓力嘅時候，皮質醇嘅生產就會增加。
Cortisol will increase the blood pressure, the blood lipids, the blood sugar, the appetite, but will block the immune system.
皮質醇會影響咗我哋嘅血壓升高啦，血脂亦都升高啦，血糖又升高喎，胃口都增加。但係咧，佢卻係會影響咗我哋嘅免疫系統。
Also, cortisol will produce depression that will affect negatively the immune system too.
佢會導致咧呢個抑鬱啦，亦對於我哋嘅心情係有負面嘅影響。
Now let's talk about some foods that are important for the immune system.
或者我哋睇一睇啲咩食物可以幫助我哋強化免疫系統。
The foods that are rich in vitamin C, they enhances the white blood cell responses and function during infection.
含有豐富維他命 C 嘅食物能夠增強我哋白血球嘅功能同埋反應，
Vitamin C also increases interferon.
亦都可以增加干擾素嘅分泌。
Many infections and stress deplete the vitamin C levels.
有好多嘅炎症或者係啲壓力咧，都會令到我哋嘅維他命 C 係缺乏嘅。
Where to find vitamin C?
喺邊度揾到維他命 C 咧？
Is on all kinds of fruits and vegetables,
就係喺各種唔同嘅蔬果裏邊，
especially the citrus fruits.
特別咧係一啲好似橙類啊。
Another important vitamin for the immune system is vitamin E.
嗱，另一種嘅維他命就係咧維他命 E 啦，
Especially for old people, increase the T cell function.
特別係老人家添，佢能夠增強我哋 T 細胞嘅功能。
The main foods that contain vitamin E are nuts, wheat germ, and beans.
我哋可以喺邊度揾到呢？就係喺果仁啦、小麥胚芽啦等等。
Vitamin for the B complex are very important for the immune system too.
維他命同埋B 集咧都係對於免疫系統好重要。
So people that are in special diets or they avoid the many foods, they can have a severe deficiency in vitamin B.
嗱，如果佢哋好多嘢都唔食得嘅話咧，可能咧就會缺乏呢個維他命 B。
Sometimes even in the modern countries, we have people with anorexia nervosa, and they are severely depleted on several vitamins.
喺現今嘅世界，有好多人患上呢個厭食症，佢哋都會同樣有出現呢係維他命 B 缺乏嘅問題。
And they can be sick because their immune system will not work properly.
佢哋好容易會病嘅，因為佢哋嘅免疫系統咧唔能夠好好運作。
One of the most important vitamins for the immune system is vitamin A,
嗱，另一個咧就係維他命 A 啦，同樣都非常重要，
especially for respiratory infections.
特別係呼吸道感染添。
So it's important to have a good source of vitamin A or beta-carotene.
所以咧係有充足嘅維他命 A 或者咧係呢個胡蘿蔔素都係非常重要。
Found in any yellow vegetable.
就係喺啲橙紅色嘅一啲食物裏邊黃。
Vitamin C is very important for the immune system.
維他命 C 對於我哋身體嘅免疫系統非常重要。
And oranges are the best source of vitamin C.
而喺橙裏面，我哋可以揾到好豐富嘅維他命 C。
So now I'm gonna teach you the best way to eat an orange.
依家我會教大家究竟用咩方法食橙係最好。
So when you peel off orange like that,
嗱，當你用咁嘅方式去批橙嘅時候咧，
you take the outside skin, but you leave the white part very intact.
咁咧我哋就只係批咗橙色嘅部分，留翻咧白色嘅部分喎。
Then they mentioned that in the white part of the orange, we have a lot of antioxidants.
咁佢哋咧就話啦，原來咧喺白色嘅部分咧係有好豐富嘅抗氧化物。
And those antioxidants are important also for the immune system.
而呢啲抗氧化物對於我哋嘅免疫系統同
So
樣
next-
重要。
Next time you eat an orange, eat with the whole thing, not just the internal part.
所以下一次當大家食橙嘅時候，嘗試下呢個方法啦。
Now let's take a look on the type of foods that can block the immune system.
有啲咩食物係會影響咗我哋嘅免疫系統呢？
In studies with rats, they proved that the white blood cells cannot function properly when the rat is using a lot of sugar.
嗱，喺呢個老鼠嘅研究裏面咧，佢哋發現如果佢哋食用咗大量嘅糖之後咧，佢哋嘅白血球嘅運作咧就會相對影響啦。
You see in this picture that when the rat is with normal blood sugar, they can eat, I would say, several bacteria, as you see the red spots inside of the cell.
嗱，你會見到當佢哋嘅血糖係正常嘅，佢哋咧嗰啲白血球啊，佢哋打細菌係咧會係好好嘅功能嘅。
In the right side, you see white blood cells with just 3 bacteria inside. When the blood sugar is too high, the white blood cell cannot function properly.
而調翻轉咧，當你血糖高嘅時候咧，你見到佢對抗呢一個細菌嘅能力咧，相對係低咗。
So when a person eats sugar, this will affect the amount of bacteria that the white blood cells can fight or destroy.
嗱，因為當我哋食用咗糖之後咧，佢就會影響咗我哋白血球對抗呢一個細菌嘅能力。
You see here, if a person does not eat any sugar, the white blood cells can eat about 14 bacteria.
嗱，好似呢度啦，當佢咧未食用大量嘅糖之前咧，佢哋每一個嘅白血球可以咧吞噬14個細菌嘅。
And then after 24 spoons of sugar, the white blood cells can kill just 1 bacteria.
但係當佢食咗24茶羹嘅糖之後咧，佢哋嗰個殺菌嘅功能咧，只係可以咧吞噬1個啫。
And this corresponds at 92% depressing on the immune system.
相等於咧，我哋嘅免疫力係咧下降咗92%。
So if you take a look on this banana split ice cream,
嗱，當我哋見到呢隻香蕉船嘅時候咧，
you see that has 25 teaspoons of sugar.
裏邊有25個茶匙嘅糖。
If you remember what we mentioned before, the white blood cells under this condition will kill just 1 bacteria.
嗱，記得喎，當你食咗呢一個香蕉船之後咧，每一個白血球只可以殺死1個細菌咋。
One food that is very important for the immune system is soybean.
嗱，一種嘅食物咧就係黃豆咧，對於免疫系統都係非常重要。
Soybean contain phytochemicals like genistein and daidzein.
因為咧喺黃豆裏面咧含有一啲植物素，就係抗腫嘅黃酮素啦，或者係呢一個嘅酮族嘅黃酮素。
Genistein helps to inhibit the stress hormones.
呢個抗腫嘅黃酮素可以抑制壓力嘅荷爾蒙。
And genistein also is an antioxidant.
而佢亦都係一個好有效嘅抗氧化物。
And daidzein, on the other hand, can increase the effect of the natural killer cells.
而呢個酮族嘅黃酮素，佢就係可以增加咗呢個自然殺手細胞嘅工作能力。
And also increase the thymus weight.
亦都係咧將我哋嘅胸腺嗰個重量咧係增加。
So this is the organ that produce white blood cells.
呢個就係咧紅血球、白血球製造嘅地方啦。
Now let's talk about exercise.
我哋又睇下運動啦。
Moderate exercise lower risk of disease.
嗱，適量嘅運動會減低呢個患病嘅機會。
Even though if a person exercise too much, also will block the immune system.
但係如果你過量做運動嘅時候，免疫系統同時都會受損喎。
But for people that are fit, that are in shape, this will produce the better immune system for the person.
嗱，但係如果你係冇超重嘅問題，你係體適能唔錯嘅話咧，當你運動咧會加強咗免疫力。
This is very interesting because exercise can even produce an effect against cancer.
嗱，你可能會覺得好奇怪，原來運動咧都有幫助預防某啲癌症添喎。
This researcher here in his study found that cyclists have anti-leukemic immunity increased.
咁佢呢一個科學家咧，佢就發現原來單車手咧，佢哋對抗癌啊、血癌嘅功能咧，係比平常人較佳嘅。
As you see, biking is a very good exercise.
大家可以見到，其實踩單車係一個幾好嘅活動。
First of all, it exerts the muscles in the leg.
嗱，因為咧佢係運動咗我哋大腿嘅肌肉。
Also, is very good for the prevention of diabetes and to lower cholesterol and mostly to lower your weight.
嗱，當然啦，佢可以咧幫助我哋咧控制嗰個血糖啦，同埋咧可以幫助我哋控制呢個體重。
But the advantage of biking is because prevents some knee problems. Many people cannot walk, cannot do exercise because of the knee problem.
嗱，有好多人因為膝頭哥有問題咧，就好多運動都唔做得。
And you see in the example that biking can help to decrease the risk of leukemia, one very serious type of cancer.
而踩單車可以預防，頭先記唔記得啊？就係血癌啊！
So you better buy your bike.
嗱，你可以買架呢啲咁嘅單車啦。
Or put a bike like a stationary bike like this in your office or in your house.
嗱，就係安置一部咁樣嘅單車喺你嘅屋企啦，或者喺你辦公室嗰度。
And have a very good bike ride.
咁你就可以真係享受到呢一種踩單車嘅樂趣啦。
Alcohol is another substance that suppresses the immune system.
酒精係另一種會削弱免疫系統嘅飲料。
Like if you just drink one glass of wine or one shot of liquor or one beer, you can depress your white blood cells production in a half for 24 hours.
嗱，如果你飲一杯酒或者一罐啤酒，佢就能夠喺24小時之內將你嘅白血球嘅生產係減低咗一半。
If a person is addicted to alcohol, the situation is much worse.
嗱，如果一個人酗酒嘅話咧，個情況就更差啦。
Alcohol abuse lower the number of T and B lymphocytes or white blood cells.
因為濫用呢個酒精係能夠咧削弱咗我哋白血球嘅生產能力，亦都降低咗呢個 T 同埋 B 淋巴球嘅能力㗎。
And then lowers the natural killer cells.
減少咗殺手細胞嘅數目啦。
And then lower levels of the vitamin C, B, and A, and minerals like zinc, magnesium, and potassium.
嗱，減低咗維他命 A 啦、B 啦、C 啦、鋅啦、鎂啦、鉀啦等等嘅水平嘅。
Alcoholics traditionally have higher incidence of pneumonia and tuberculosis.
而我哋發現酗酒嘅人士，佢哋患肺炎啦同埋肺結核嘅機會係相對比其他人多。
So next time someone offers alcohol for you,
嗱，下一次當人哋咧請你飲酒嘅時候咧，
don't refuse, but only use alcohol outside of your body.
你可能唔好拒絕佢，不過咧只係外用就好啦。
Remember, alcohol outside will clean your system.
因為咧，你能夠用呢一個嘅酒精去清潔我哋嘅皮膚，
But inside will depress your immune system.
但係當你飲落去嘅時候，就會咧削弱咗呢個免疫系統噶啦。
Smoking, everybody knows that smoking is bad for the immune system.
大家都知道吸煙咧對於免疫系統一啲好處都冇，
It will increase the risk of infections.
佢會增加感染嘅機會，
Besides the effect on cancer.
而且咧會引致患癌症添。
Another problem is to use a lot of drugs.
嗱，另外咧就要避免大量咁用藥啦。
And I'm not talking only about the drugs prescribed by the doctors, but the over-the-counter drugs.
嗱，當然我唔係淨係話咧醫生處方嗰啲藥喎，而係話你能夠喺藥房就可以買到嘅嗰啲藥。
In generally, try to avoid to take too much drugs.
所以咧，極其量盡量咧避免係藥物啦。
Then we have some herbals that are good for the immune system.
嗱，另外我哋有啲草藥咧係有幫助強化免疫系統嘅。
One of the most known and studied is echinacea.
嗱，其中一樣咧就係呢個紫球菊啦，
Echinacea can increase the production of white blood cells
因為佢可以增加白血球嘅生產，
and also can increase the production of the natural killer cell.
要增加自然殺手細胞。
So it's a simple herbal, but very important for the immune system.
嗱，一啲好簡單嘅草藥，但係對呢一個免疫系統咧就非常之好啦。
Echinacea is the family of the daisy family.
嗱，佢咧其實咧，你會見到咧，佢好似屬於啲菊類嘅系列。
This is a native plant from the United States,
呢個咧就係喺美國出產嘅，
but has been more researched and used in Europe.
但係卻係喺歐洲嘅地方咧，大量咧係被研究同埋使用。
So if you have opportunity to use that, I advise you to buy the extract and put 1 or 2 drops of the extract under your tongue.
嗱，如果你真係想用嘅時候咧，你可以嘗試用佢啲精華，只係滴1、2滴落去條脷嗰度就得㗎啦。
Not every day, just when you have a suspicion that you are going to get a cold or someone around you has a cold.
嗱，唔係每日都用喎，只不過係當你覺得開始傷風感冒嘅時候，或者周圍環繞你嘅人都係傷風感冒嘅時候咧，先採用。
Another good thing for the immune system is garlic.
其次咧就係呢個蒜頭，對於個免疫系統都係好好嘅。
Garlic has a property antibacterial
因為咧呢個蒜頭咧係有抗菌嘅作用，
against several types of bacteria.
對於有好幾種嘅細菌咧都係好有效。
Like Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, Escherichia coli, Salmonella, Vibrio cholera, Candida albicans, etc.
例如係有啲咩嘢咧？葡萄球菌啦、鏈球菌啦、大腸桿菌啦、沙門氏菌啦、霍亂菌啦，同埋啲念珠菌等等。
Also, garlic can be good against virus.
而且亦都有效對抗病毒。
And garlic has an activity to clean the respiratory tract.
而蒜頭亦都可以幫助我哋咧係清理一啲嘅呼吸系統一啲嘅分泌。
We advise you to use the garlic drink
我建議大家嘗試一下咧呢個蒜頭特飲。
when you are having a cold or for your children when they have a cold.
嗱，當你或者你嘅小朋友係開始作感冒嘅時候，可以嘗試一下。
Now we are going to teach you how to prepare the garlic cocktail.
依家我教大家整一個蒜頭特飲。
So we advise you to use 1 garlic clove per day.
咁我建議大家咧每日可以食用一瓣嘅蒜頭。
Not the whole garlic, just 1 clove per day because garlic is very good to fight infections.
嗱，唔係成個蒜頭喎，係一瓣啫，因為咧佢可以對抗呢個細菌。
So you put the garlic in the garlic smasher.
我哋咧就將佢擺落去壓爛佢，
Then you will smash it in a cup.
將佢咧壓碎咗個部分擺落杯裏邊。
Then after that, you
之後
put
呢，
some drops of lemon.
加少少檸檬汁，
And then you put a little bit of honey.
加少少嘅蜜糖，
And then you pour water.
再加啲水落去，
Stir well.
攪勻佢。
And you have the cocktail, garlic cocktail.
呢個就係蒜頭特飲啦。
You know, my children were raised with garlic and they never use antibiotic.
當我啲細蚊仔細嘅時候有病咧，我就會俾蒜頭特飲佢哋，所以佢哋從未試過用抗生素。
You know, garlic can fight bacteria, virus, and even fungus.
原來咧呢一個蒜頭咧唔單止係對細菌好喎，對呢一個嘅病毒啦，甚至係真菌咧，同樣都有效。
Next time you have a cold or your children have a cold, try the garlic cocktail.
下一次當你或者你嘅細蚊仔開始作感冒嘅時候，試下呢個蒜頭特飲啊，
Very good.
好好味㗎。
Another herbal good for the immune system is lemongrass.
另一個對免疫系統好嘅咧就係香茅啦。
Lemongrass is used as a seasoning in Asia,
咁喺亞洲嚟講咧，香茅通常咧都係用嚟咧做一啲調味料。
but in my country, in South America, they use lemongrass as a tea.
但係喺南美咧，我哋就中意要嚟泡茶喎。
No matter how do you use the herb, it's very good as an immune system activator.
無論你點用都好啦，佢對於我哋免疫系統都係有啲加強嘅作用嘅。
One Chinese herbal that is very good for the immune system is astragalus.
嗱，其中一個咧黃芪係呢一種嘅中草藥咧，對於強化免疫系統係有非常好嘅功效。
Astragalus has been studied in the Europe countries as a very potent stimulator of the immune system.
而喺歐洲嘅地方，佢哋大量咁做一個研究，發現咧呢一種咁嘅黃芪或者北芪咧係能夠強化我哋嘅免疫系統。
They even found some properties against cancer on this herbal.
佢更加咧發現咧喺呢個黃芪裏面咧係有呢個抗癌嘅作用添。
So you can use the powder of the herbal like 500 milligrams 2 times a day.
嗱，我哋可以咧將佢製成粉啦，每一日咧係食用大概500個毫克。
Or the root like 9 to 15 grams per day.
嗱，如果你食用佢根部嘅話咧，大概咧係9至到15克，
Or the extract like 3 to 5 mL per day.
或者你可以將佢製成汁，咁每日咧只係食3至到5個毫升就夠啦。
But the common use in China is to use a piece of the bark of astragalus in the soup.
嗱，咁通常我哋咧北芪咧就係會將佢一塊塊咁咧放落去咧，要嚟放湯嘅。
So now let's relate the immune system with the lifestyle.
或者我哋睇一睇免疫系統同生活習慣嘅關係啊。
Dr. Kusaka from Japan, he proved that the lifestyle can improve the immune system.
一個日本嘅醫生佢發現一個好嘅生活習慣係幫助我哋強化免疫系統。
He found that 8 health practices like no smoking, low alcohol, good sleep, frequent exercise, balanced nutrition, breakfast, normal working hours and stress control, all of those together will produce a better immune system.
佢哋發現，如果一個人有實行8種嘅健康原則嘅話，例如係咩呢？就係唔食煙啦、少飲酒啦、瞓得好啦、經常運動、均衡嘅營養、有食早餐、正常嘅工作時間，同埋咧係適量咁樣控制壓力嘅時候咧，佢哋嘅免疫系統係可以改善。
One important result in this study is that the natural killer cell was increased in number and activity.
佢哋就發現 如果佢哋有實踐健康生活，佢哋身體裏面嘅自然殺手細胞嘅數目係會多，而且咧更加活躍添。
Remember, natural killer cell, they can kill bacteria, virus, and even cancer cells.
嗱，記住喎，自然殺手細胞除咗殺細菌、病毒之外咧，佢仲可以咧殺死我哋身體嘅癌細胞㗎。
Now let's take a look on this interesting study done by Dr. Eccles from England.
我哋睇一睇咧，喺英國有一個醫生佢做咗一個好有趣嘅研究。
He put some students with their feet in cold ice water.
咁佢哋咧就將一啲學生咧，佢哋咧叫出嚟做呢個研究，就將佢哋嘅腳浸喺呢個冰水裏邊。
And then they should stay there for 20 minutes.
嘅浸20分鐘。
Then when he finished the study, they figured out that 29% of them got symptoms of a cold in the next 4 to 5 days.
佢發現呢班人浸完凍水腳之後咧，佢哋大概係有30%嘅人咧喺4-5日之內就出現咧呢個傷風感冒嘅症狀。
And then only 9% of the other control group students got colds also.
但係冇浸腳嗰班咧，只係大概5到10%嘅人咧係有呢一個出現感冒嘅症狀。
Somehow he is showing that cold or at least cold feet will block the action of the immune system.
所以佢哋發現咧，冰冷嘅腳能夠妨礙咗我哋身體正常嘅免疫系統嘅工作。
That's why we advise you, if you want to prevent or even treat a cold or a flu, you should make a hot foot bath.
嗱，所以如果我哋要預防呢個傷風感冒，或者咧我哋已經開始傷風感冒嘅時候，可以試下熱水浸腳啊。
A summary of our lecture.
我哋嘅總結係咩呢？
First, you have to take measures of hygiene, mostly clean your hands.
首先要注重個人嘅衛生，特別係要記得洗手。
Related to diet, more vegetables, less animal food, and avoid junk food too.
嗱，至於食物方面，我哋要多菜少肉，避免一啲唔健康嘅垃圾食物。
Do more exercise, especially outdoor exercise.
每日多做運動，最好喺戶外度做咧就更理想啦。
Don't smoke, don't drink.
唔食煙，唔飲酒。
Then have a good sense of humor, have appropriate rest.
養成一個幽默感，同埋咧有足夠嘅休息。
Use some herbals like echinacea, garlic, lemongrass, and one key.
可以試用一啲香草藥，例如係啲紫球菊啦、蒜頭啦同埋香茅。
And then keep your feet warm.
記住咧係保持我哋對腳係溫暖。
There was a man that went to the psychologist because he was feeling depressive and low self-esteem.
有一次有個人佢見心理醫生，原因咧就係因為佢覺得自己嘅自我形象好低，而且咧係覺得有抑鬱嘅情況添。
The doctor told him that there was a clown in the city and he should attend the show that this clown was performing.
咁而醫生同佢講啦，佢話啊，不如咧你試下去個市集嗰度睇下咧，好快脆咧就會有一個嘅小丑咧有表演喎。
And then he would feel happy, he would feel very improved in his mood.
嗱咁樣咧，佢嗰個嘅心態啊，同埋咧佢個情況咧，應該都會有改善嘅。
But the guy looked at the doctor and said, "Doctor, I am that clown."
但係嗰個人咧，佢就望住醫生同佢講啊，我咪就係嗰個小丑咯。
So there was no solution for that clown in order to overcome his depression.
佢發現原來佢自己嗰個抑鬱嘅情況，佢都解決唔到。
We believe that the best way for us to overcome our struggles is to read the Bible.
所以當我哋遇到個困難嘅時候，相信其中一個方法就係打開聖經。
Here we have power to overcome our depression, our anxiety, our struggles in life.
因為裡面可以俾好多指引我哋點樣去面對同埋勝過我哋每日嘅挑戰同埋問題。
Don't forget that a merry heart does good like a medicine.
唔好忘記啊，一個喜樂嘅心先係最佳嘅良藥。
And this is found in the Bible in Proverbs 17:22.
喺箴言嘅17章22節咁樣講嘅。
Have a good immune system.
祝大家有一個健康強壯嘅免疫系統。